Hmm. Hello. Let me hit a couple buttons. This light's not on. That's a problem. Bam. There. Now you can see me. Let me just turn off audio on Twitch so I don't hear myself talk. And welcome in. So, as you can see what we have on the screen here, it's the lovely Magnus Carlsen, the greatest chess player to ever live. I have just this obsession with trying to figure out how to get chess cards made, because there is for sure a platform and I would say a demand in some right to get cards made. So let me make sure my mic is working, which it is, and let me just hit a couple more buttons to post on the IG. And I'm a little bit early, so it's fine. Essentially what I'm trying to figure out, well, one, I don't know where this Magnus Carlsen file is. I was going to turn this into a card, but I have no idea where the file is. I wanted to turn this into a card and figure out how to do that. We might still do that real quick. This would be like set to multiply, and then we figure out like what below it would have white on it. So we're going to give it a color overlay of white. But I don't have the working files for this, so I can't like remove stuff easily. So it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I think what I want to do is get rid of the color overlay. Let's just go like this and just hit select subject. I'm just going to select this, this, and him. Okay, that's good. Let's delete this mask. Let's do that. So he's like this. So like this could be a card, and then it could say Magnus somewhere, but that's not really what we want to do today. What we want to do today is we want to make something with these. The hardest part about figuring out what to do is finding images. I found this really big image on chess.com's website because they're selling this sweatshirt. So that's a fun way of finding assets. Like I was looking for photos of like the good golfers from YouTube, and I found that they, you know, have merch that they advertise, polos and stuff. So I just went on there and pretty much grabbed photos of different polos and just found one for each person that I wanted. I want this to be less contrasting, more contrasting, less contrasting. Let me do it this way. Look at the channels here. So a way we can select this. I'm trying to figure out where his hair actually is over here, and which of it's hair, which of it's shine. It's kind of hard to tell. Oops. What we can do is we can grab like the green here. We can go to image. I'm going to duplicate this. Oops. Oh, I duplicated the whole thing. I'm stupid. Duplicate channel. Cool. So I'm going to go to image calculations. And then what that can do is I can go in here and say, I want to merge this together with itself, but I want it to be set to overlay. Or I want to set it to screen so the lights really brighten up. Let me do it again. Except maybe we do overlay. What we're really trying to do is create black and white. Image, calculations, multiply green. Ugh, no. Overlay green. Kind of like that. It's not really doing what I want. Maybe we don't want to do that. We'll just go to RGB. We'll just do it the normal way. We'll just select subject. Doesn't matter. It's just for a pseudo card we're going to do. I do want to fix his hair a little bit, though. It's funny because there's a refine hair button. I'm just going to click on that, but it always looks bad. Like, his hair is there, but it's not there. But, like, this isn't his hair. But then it's too choppy, so then we kind of feather it a little bit and get rid of the contrast. Maybe we get rid of the shift edge and just hit OK. Whatever. There's his hair. Turn that into a smart object, and we'll just paste it in here because we can. So I found this image, and I thought it was a good background image. Usually what I do a lot when I'm designing something is we've got one guy, two guys. And I usually put them in next to each other. I wanted to find a third photo of him, but it's a little harder because I need like a full body image. The image I used, see, it looks so bad because it's a black and white image. It has no idea what it's doing. This is so bad. Let me just do this. It's fine. We'll just deal with this and we can clean it up later. There's not a lot of full body images of Magnus. I think I might put this in the background, like huge. Kind of like this. He's just like ominously in the background, and then he's smaller here. Kind of like, I forget what the card's title is called. There's a card that kind of does this. But I couldn't find any like photos of him. So like I found this from like some stock site that had just some bodies. And it's like this sorcerer dude. And that's why he's got his hands out like this. And I like didn't give him a neck here, but he like doesn't have a neck. So I just photoshopped his head on there. We can see his head in the background and some chest stuff, which looks cool. So I want to figure out what we want to do today. And today's going to be very ideation heavy, which is an important day. And I've already looked up a couple of things. I know what I want to do. I want to make this. Yeah. I want to put this up here where it's supposed to go. This is supposed to go right-ish. It's going to snap to this. Hold on. I need to lock these guides because I move them all the time and it's super annoying. Let me lock guides. Hold on. Guides lock. Okay. So we have this photo of Magnus. What we're also going to do is we're going to add in here Chess Kings. So I'm going to make this more of a template. And I think with this photo, it would look nice if Chess Kings was like on this side. Chess Kings, Magnus Carlsen. We can make this more of a template. I know someone wanted me to make a more prism, quote unquote, based card. And those are more framework for photos to be applied to it. So we can do that. But I need to find some inspiration for this. And I found some. It's right here. You can see what I was looking at on Pinterest. So I thought it'd be cool to do something like this in the top left-hand corner where it's like one photo of Magnus and another photo of like Fabiano Caruana or Hikaru, because they're the number 2 players in the nation, and then have sort of this dichotomy with it. So, I mean, I just looked on here on Pinterest. I literally searched what Chess Kings right here. And there's a lot of interesting stuff out here. There's, here, buy these posters. Look at all this AI generated stuff. God, this is like half AI generated now. All of this stuff on the screen right now is pretty much AI generated. That's a shame. God, it's so much. I didn't realize how bad it was. I haven't been on Pinterest in a while. These are really done. This is done really well. Like holding inside of a card, holding a chess piece, which would be cool to mock up. However, we don't have images that work for that. So we could AI generate some of them. I don't really don't want to. But something like this is a really nice design. I like this. It's like on a card. So if we do Chess Kings, I've made a couple chess mock-ups of stuff before. Let me find that and show you. So last year I reached out. I wanted to make some cards for the Botez sisters. And the Botez sisters, let me fix this. There. More on me now. The Botez sisters are some chess streamers, and they do their own thing. But I made some cool cards for them based on just like random images I could find. I'm trying to find one that I liked. I think it was Alex. Let me search Botez, that'll find it. Not that one. I made like a short. It was supposed to be like an insert. Sorry, I'm looking for it on a different computer. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's because she plays poker. So it's like this. So it's like queen with some queens. So we could like imitate some of this and apply it to this card where it's maybe a card. A lot of chess players also like to play poker. And then there's chess aspects to it. So we can implement some of that to this if we wanted to. I'm going to edit this photo because I don't like how it looks. So I'm going to make a new smart object to be a copy and delete this layer mask. We're just going to go into here. Okay. So I have a plugin, a filter from the Nick collection. I like to do these HDR effects. I think they look decent. Let me pull this up. And I know a couple other people use these. Usually what works is if just hitting like one of these deep ones. And then we can go in here and we can do, you know, real crunchy or not crunchy. I think this looks fine. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to run an action on this that I use on everything. It's my Princeton editing action. We'll see how this looks. Like this looks terrible. There's too much going on. And get rid of these high passes and this unsharp mask now because we have it on the back end. We're really doing a lot. What's up, Hayes Fawcett? I know who you are. Because you're Hayes Fawcett. You're the committed guy. Okay, so I'm going to change this. So this effect is too much. So I can just go in and click on these little levers. And then change it to be, if it loads, like 50%. And then that'll look better. Because when you look at too much stuff in the sports design world, you know who everybody is. So I can save this and go back. And then it'll be in here, and then I can just apply the mask there and delete this layer. There. So now I have a better edited photo of Magnus. We can edit it further. Let's just do some like really stereotypical stuff that people like to see. This is a crispy image. Hold on. We're gonna fix some stuff on this image. Hold on. Where's the spot replacement tool? Spot healing brush. All right, he's got a little zit here. We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of that. Oh, I need to do sample all layers. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Now we could do something. He's got all this gook on his mouth. This dry skin. There's probably better ways of doing this. Dude, just go like this. This isn't the best way to edit it, but it is a way to edit it. Man, there's so many different ways to, like, I keep finding there's this girl online who edits photos and her photos look ridiculous. Like, she's really good at what she does. She puts out really good content too. I look at her stuff and that's why I'm like, I tweeted something about it and I was like, I'm never going to have high enough quality images to even try to do that. It'd be like on this image. This is a crazy high quality image. Like this photo is 5,000 pixels, which is sort of crazy to find online. I just found this using Google's advanced image search, and then it found it on their website for the merch. So let's punch up the eyes a little bit. So I'm going to grab this same thing here. Now we'll delete that. We're going to go to curves, and we're just going to go bloop. And we're going to get rid of that. And then with a soft brush, we're just going to paint back on here. We're going to brighten these eyes up a little bit. You know what? I don't know how to make good feet shadows. I use Dean Davies brushes. So Dean Davies has a really good brush set. I don't know how to make them. I use his all the time. They're really nice. I think he has them on his... You can probably find them on his Twitter page. So this is a much better edited image than what we had before. Let me hide this for a second and show you. So like... I have under here floor shadows. So there's like ball and there's like foot shadows. So I'll go in here and just like do that. Like this is one of the shadows. Another one is like this. So you can just place these under a subject and see how it looks. So, for instance, let me find someone. No, I don't want that. We're gonna do Obi Toppin. I have so many photos of Obi on my computer. I'll just use one of Obi. Hold on. And I do this all the time. This is how I do it for... Oh, he's in the air there. Nope, that's not what we want. Oh, here. Here's a bunch of images. Obi. Here you go. So, I'm going to drag this in here real quick. I'm going to make it just a new composition. Hold on. That's not... See, I'm making new layers. That's not how this works. I'll show you how to do this, and then I'll just make a YouTube video. I can make a short about it and put it on Reels. All right. So if you want realistic feet, shadows in an image, this is what I would do. So I'm just going to cut out this photo of Obi Toppin. I'm just going to hit select subject. Oh, that selected him really weird. Okay, let me hit Command D. Let me just do this. So we're going to select... your subject like this. I'm just gonna select a mask. I don't really care what he looks like now. Looks really bad. Hold on. What is this feather at? Let's contrast more. Feather less. There. All right, that'll work for what we want. So there's two ways I do it. If the photo itself has good shadows, like this has some shadows we can use, what I'll do is I'll just add an adjustment layer of a gradient map. And then I'll squash down the whites a bunch until we see just where the shadow is. Like that. Oh. Barlocker, what's up? Thank you for following me. You startled me because I got an alert. So I'll turn this into a gradient map. I usually set it to multiply. It's a white background, so it doesn't really do anything. And then just mask it back in with a brush. Oops, that's the stamp tool. We don't want to do that. I want just a regular brush. So we can paint that back in. And then he sort of has a shadow. And then, so if we go in and we add just like a solid color and we make it red, you know, he's on red. Let's just make this like vibrant green so we can see what's going on. So that's one way of doing it. Another way is you have your subject cut out. I'll make a new layer. And there's a graphic designer, Dean Davies, who has these feet shadows. So you can use these. So they've got elevated feet. They've got ones for if there's a shadow with a ball. I use these feet shadows just depending on where the player is. So I'll click with a full brush like that. And figure out if this one's good. That one's probably not good. Let me do this one. So I might take this one, blow it up. And kind of put it here and maybe tilt it a little bit to fit his foot, kind of like that. I'll make a new layer and do the same thing for the other foot. And this one looks a little funky, so I like using these ball shadows. Kind of like this. And maybe we set that to a different opacity. Maybe we duplicate it and set it to a much lighter opacity. Kind of like this. Hello, hello, welcome in. And then, you know, this is really fast. But like, feed shadows. Maybe I'll take this one and mask it a little bit. Oh, this is a gradient. We don't want that. So maybe I'll mask it kind of like this with a black mask. And then maybe I'll take these and mask them a little bit, because we don't want them to be like, they want them to be realistic. So they're mainly going to be under his feet, dark, everywhere else. I mean, for the most part, this looks decent. You know, I would spend a little bit more time playing around with how to get the shadows to look perfect. Maybe I set this to like 80%. But that looks better than what a lot of like young beginning designers do, and they just take this regular brush, squash it down. Oops. Squash it down. Make a new layer, and then they just go shadow, shadow. You know, it looks better than that. So that's what I would do. So check out Dean Davies on Twitter and Instagram. He has these pack, I think, on his website, or somewhere to either buy or have for free. So we're going to quit out of that. We're going to go back to what we're here for, which is Magnus Carlsen. So Magnus, chess player. I'm going to go to the internet, and I'm going to go to Envato. Envato.com is a website I use a lot, and it's great for 3D objects. So here's Chess King is what I looked for. I'm going to click on 3D, and then I can go to filters and I can go to renders and hit apply. And it's going to show me King piece. It's going to show me pieces of King. So here's a bunch of different pieces of chess that are a king that I can download because it's part of my subscription. Most of them are made by Pixel Squid 360, who's a really good company studio that makes 3D elements. So I can figure out how I want this in here. I can hit download. And then it's part of my subscription that I can download and use this. Then I can open up this file, go down to downloads, and toss it in here. And I have this king in here that I can do whatever I want with. I can get rid of the background. It has a shadow built in. And now I have this king that I can do something with. What do we want to do with it? I don't know. But we have it now. Get rid of these. Oops. So this right here, what I'm working on is my trading card template. It's blank. There should be a link in the description of the video that links to a Google Drive where you can download this. This is the one I use. It's 2000 pixels by 2727. So it's a little bit larger than 2.5 by 3.5. This orange part is the bleed, and it's got a built-in layer if you want to have a border that's all holographic. But I'm just going to turn that off because I want it just to be bleed. But this is what I use when I design stuff for cards. It should have some built-in guides like this. So this is a padding guide. This is where you want text to stay inside. And then if you really want stuff inside, you can put it here. But right off the rip, so we've got this photo of Magnus, which looks really good. Usually I'm trying to have contrast in my subjects. So that's what I said before. Usually I have a big guy and a little guy. If you watch any of my YouTube content, it's usually big guy, little guy. You know, I'd like to put a little guy down here of him doing something, but maybe it's a king chess piece or something like that. And I'm just trying to think of compositionally, what can we do to make this look cool? And that's usually where Pinterest comes involved. It also is where eBay comes involved. Yeah, that makes sense. So I like copied on eBay. This is like the only, this is like the only Magnus card that you can find that's like good. It's from like forever ago. It's a photo of him. It says Magnus. There were also these other chess cards made for clutch chess. These are the backs that have information, but they're just sort of printed off. So I actually emailed them before my stream, the St. Louis Chess Club, and said, hey, let's get some cards made because I think we should make cards. So I'm gonna look in here. So I was looking up Magnus cards. I was looking up Topps Panini. Dude, eBay's been super broken. Topps Panini insert SSP. So I'm looking for like case hits, because usually the case hits are a little bit more designed. Usually they're a little bit better. Sometimes they're not. And we can see here just by looking at this that, you know, there's mainly, it's like backgrounds. A lot of inserts I've seen, they're either going really illustrative and doing a great job hiring illustrators to make stuff, or they're just like a plain background or something gimmicky. Yeah, Rick, I like using the guide because, or I like using this template because the guides help out and aligning stuff when a bounding box is huge. Yeah, I like to use all my text in bounding boxes. There's like two different categories. You either click to make text, or you, let's do something like that. I know what we're going to do. Okay. Either click to use text or you make a box. I always make a box just because I think it's fun. Okay, we're going to take this photo of Magnus because it's a good photo of Magnus. We're going to put it in the middle. We're going to emulate this. I saw this. We're going to emulate this because we can have big holographic text. That's basically what we're going to deal. We're going to have big holographic text that says Chess Kings. Now, they have a card called Court Kings, which is a insert. Face Chess Limited has the best Magnus cards. Let me look that up. Let me look that up over here. Whoops. Look that up over here. Put this back here. What am I looking at? Face Chess cards. See, I can't find anything on Face Chess. Face Chess cards, LTD. There's not a lot out here. I'm not even finding anything, but it's fine. Yeah, St. Louis is like an event badge. They gave some out in like Norway, I think, as like competitions, but it wasn't anything crazy. Some of these say Court Kings. They say Kings on them. I know what I'm trying to look for. Yeah, they say like Court Kings. Like this. They're very illustrative and expressive. They look like this. They look like this. Very street basketball, but it's basketball, so that makes sense. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna have Magnus here. We're gonna set up the framework so we could use this for anything. And we're gonna have the word Chess King. So chess, put that somewhere. And I'm going to make a new one and then do kings. So here's where we go. How do we want to do this? To me, kings in chess is it's old school. I kind of want to go with sort of a black letter font. Amador's a good one, except you can't read it because this is all caps, because I have caps lock on, because I have caps on, because I have caps on. What is happening? There we go. So Amador's a good one. There's a bunch of good fonts out there. This one I can't really read this K very well. So we can find one. I have another one in here. I don't remember what it's called, but I have like a billion fonts on here. This isn't terrible. And usually when I'm looking for fonts, I'm going to go to fonts.adobe.com, but we can also just go to Envato. So I'm just going to go to Envato and I'm going to go to fonts and click on fonts. And then I will type in black letter. And there's a bunch of black letter fonts on here. And a lot of them are just okay. This is kind of crazy. This seems kind of nice. Let's download this one. I can enter the text here. Kings. See, that looks cooler. We're going to use this text. We're going to use this font and see what happens. Okay, so I want to do open type, true type. We're going to install this real quick. This is called the Godfather letter. Hopefully this installs. And we go here, everything breaks. Godfather. Godfather. I might have to quit out and come back in. Let me search for it in here. Wow, this is super broken. Fonts are. Okay, let's try this again. I spelled the wrong. God. Father. Okay, hold on. We're going to save this real quick. So I'm not saving over my template Magnus card. I'm just going to save this to my design server. We're having some issues with Scratch disk being full, but it should be enough. So I'm going to quickly... I don't care about that. We're going to quickly quit out of that file. Here's that. And we're going to open it back up because I think I need to restart Photoshop to get that font in there. If you are new in chat, introduce yourselves. Let me know how you found this, whether it was me posting on Twitter or if you found me on YouTube. I'm genuinely curious. Who is here and how did you find me and what did you do? What do you do? Okay. Everything's breaking. I feel like there's a okay, I was like, I feel like there's a dialogue box somewhere and it's super broken. I just got super mad. Okay. So we have this selected, so I can type in Godfather. There it is. So we can do King's really big. Does the lowercase k read better than the uppercase K? And is there... Let me look at the glyphs and see if there's other ones in here that might read a little bit better. Answer, no. Okay. That's fine. Okay, I like the word kings here. It's kind of hard to read, but it's going to look cool. I'm going to convert this to a shape because I want to sort of manipulate it and go like this. So it says kings. And then we can take chess and we can probably put it like here. We can put it here. We can do something a little bit different. Maybe we slant it and go like this and sort of nest this in here nicely. We don't have to use this font here. We can do whatever. But what I'm going to do with this text here, I have volume 1. I don't have volume 2 haze. Volume 2 might be better. Let's look. Dean Davies. Look at his website. Dean Davies. You just follow my UP, follow every sports graphic designer. Awesome. This isn't Dean Davies. Is this Dean Davies? Is this a different Dean Davies? This is a different Dean Davies. I think Dean Davies is a very popular... it's a very popular name. We'll go to his Twitter. He's got a Gumroad account that you can go to. So we were talking about floor shadows here. He does crazy stuff with coding, by the way. He's a very smart person. I have this first pack. I don't have the second pack. I mean, it's like $10. Should probably buy this pack just because. Yeah, because you can do stuff like this. I use them all the time. They're really, they're really nice. Oh, you can do both. Newest pack and bestseller. You can get both of them for $14. That's worth it. 290 sales. That's pretty nice. Okay. So we're going to go back here. So I want the text to be in the center. And I'm going to use my guide here of saying I want important text to be inside of this. It actually needs to be inside both. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I want to make sure that whatever I do, the padding is good for the card. And I'm going to change this color to be bright pink because that means it's going to be holographic. So I'm going to go down here to chess. I want a contrasting font. I want it to be wide. I can probably use this. I just think this is a little too thick. And I don't want to use this on every single thing I make. But this font is called Beechwood. It's a really good font because it's variable. But we can put this here and we can do chess kings. And honestly, we can make a design from this and then we can change kings to easily say queens and then it would easily work. Convert to shape. I'm like converting this to shape so I can change this text of it. So chess kings, maybe we make this a little bit smaller. I mean, I could put it here so it says chess kings, but I like how this works. You decided you want to make some cards for your rugby team, spent all season taking photos of them, made a few designs and realized they suck, so you turned to YouTube for help. Well, I'm glad you found this channel because the whole reason I want this is to help people make cards. And I'm not a professional card designer. I'm a professional graphic designer who likes designing cards. And it just kind of works out. Okay, so what is this king? So this looks like this. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do this with the background. So what I kind of want to do is I want to put this behind him, blow it up a bunch like this, then have it kind of like this. I want it so you can see that there is a king shape behind him. And then if we made this into a chess queens, we can put a queen behind someone. I think we might do something else too. But as you can see, I sort of sized up Magnus here. So his head stops here. So we're going to figure out what goes in the background. We're probably going to do something somewhat symmetrical because I like symmetry. Let's go back to that design. See, this is just a background with an image cut out with holographic text. And he's in the front. That's really all this is. With some tags on it. Very easy, simple template to make. If we copy the similar setting, move this up a little bit. I think I'm going to put his name down here at the bottom. The problem is man, this is just breaking. Let me zoom in. Zoom in. So weird. Sometimes when I hit T, it just like breaks. Magnus Carlsen. Oh, you're making chess cards? That's cool. We are all for doing that. This is terrible. Magnus Carlsen. Yeah, I think that's good. So we can either have it down here on the side, like this. This is sort of where it would have been in comparison to the other card we just saw. We don't need to rip off the design completely because I don't like doing that. I like just finding little snippets of things I like text at the bottom that can be fully holographic. So I'm going to grab his name here and maybe we put it into some sort of container. So his name's going to go, I think his name's going to go here because I don't want it here because I want padding. So his name's going to go, we'll go a little bit lower than that. We'll move Chess Kings up just a teeny bit. And then what we can do is we can add framework around this whole card. So if I go to rectangle, we can just go like this and say, okay, so this is we're going to have a border of some sort. What is the border? I have no idea. Probably going to go to Envato and find something that looks cool. But we can have a border around it, and then we can have some sort of name framework around here. So I'm going to go to Envato. And here's the thing. It's okay to find stuff off of a website and use it. You know, people make assets. You don't have to make everything. I'm going to just search for ornate border frame. And they have really cool frames on here. Like this. Like just photos of frames look cool. Like I was going to look for stuff like under graphics probably. And find some ornate stuff like this. But it would be kind of cool to have him coming out of a photo frame. Yeah, we're going to do that. I know what we're going to do. And it's just coming together in my brain as to what. Golden frame. Ornate. So they have a bunch of frames on here, and I really like using these and just trying to make stuff look nice. So they've got 3D frames. This is a nice mock-up, actually. Let me go to 3D. Sometimes the 3D looks good, but sometimes it looks too much like a 3D frame or a 3D generated object. So I want like a really gaudy looking frame like this. Oops, I'm going to change this to PSD. And you can drag these around. I don't think this is good. I want the inside to be larger. So I'm going to grab this one. We're going to rotate it around. I don't like how that one looks. Let's grab, is this the same one we just had? No. I kind of like this one. So we're going to download this. And the weird thing is like sometimes like it's really dark because of how they have the shadows done, which is kind of weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my downloads. We'll open up that frame. We'll drag that on here. And this is the frame we're going to use. And I know what this is going to look like now. I think. I need to Google something. So we can put the frame like this. This is still, that's really thick though. But you can see what I'm going, you can see how it's sort of coming together a little bit. What is it? Yeah. You know what this is looking like? It's looking like the Marie Antoinette poster. Gaudy thing, person in the front. That's the vibe I'm getting. Which isn't bad. It's just not exactly what I want. So I need to find actually a really thin border. Because we're going to blow it up. And we can fudge it a little bit. But I don't want it to be super thick. So I'm going to download this one. It's a slightly different frame. Because I'm going to want him popping out of it. I guess I could just have him in front of it though. Like, it's not a bad idea. I do like how this looks. And I know what I want in the background. So it's going to make sense. So we'll drag this here. Let's try this one on for size. Oops, I hit Command F. Go, go, go. Okay, we're going to hide this one. Might have you guys sort of vote on which one you think is best. The other one's just so much more ornate and looks cool. What we're going to do, though, we're going to duplicate this, set it to screen to brighten it up a little bit. Group it to that. Set it to overlay, put it like 30%. And group it together. So now we have a shinier frame. And we'll set this to like 75. There. So the frame is golden and shinier, which is good. That's what we want. We've got chess kings. We just need some ornate thing down here. And what we can do is we can get rid of this box now. We're going to figure out how his name is on here. We could add some sort of framework down here that's ornate to put on there. Some sort of badge. Maybe it looks like it's inside the frame. I've done that before. So maybe it's like down here at the bottom and they're coming out. I think that's what I wanted to do originally. So the person is coming out of... I guess I can distort this however I want. It doesn't really matter. You know, I just think this is really, really thick. What is this? Let's see here. Because what I kind of wanted to do is I wanted Magnus to be coming out of the frame. But I don't think we need to do that. Now what I'm going to do... Is it on my computer already? Let's check. I'm going to add a pattern. So you can make your own patterns. We're probably going to make our own pattern. Do I have it on here? No. Okay. Okay. We're going to make our own pattern real quick. Who in the chat has made a pattern before? Give me a yes in chat, you've made a pattern, or no in chat if you haven't made a pattern in Photoshop. We're going to make a very basic pattern. Give me them ones, or give me them yeses and give me them nos. No margin. So we're going to make a box. Ugh, that's not what I want at all. We're going to put a box here. Tyrus has made one. Ooh, yeah, that's fine. Look at this. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna get rid of the background. Yeah, we're getting rid of the back. No. You did forever ago when we were at Sinclair. Derp, derp, de derp. I just realized who you were. Welcome in, Eric. How's it going? So I'm gonna copy these and just rotate it, and it should do that. And then I'm gonna make them white just so it's better. It doesn't really do anything. Convert this to a smart object. Edit. Define pattern. Checkerboard. Boom. Okay, now we have a checkerboard pattern. So I can go in here. I can go to pattern. I can go and select our pattern. So I've made patterns of a bunch of stuff. I was doing some of these things with Mug Life. I was doing something with Princeton. I made one with folders. And then boom, here's a checkered pattern. Let's put it at a 45-degree angle because everything. No, let's put it like a 60-degree angle. And let's make it 200% big. 300? 300 is good. And we can edit this at any time. So if I'm going to go, no, I want it to be like 15. I think 15 is better. So this is what's going on. I like how this looks, which is really nice. This is going to be holographic. This doesn't need to be holographic, but we can make it holographic. So I'm going to make Chess Kings go inside of this frame so it can be holographic. We've got him there. I want something different in the background. I don't want the background to be this border. So I'm just going to hit U. I'm going to go like this. We'll put something there later. And I'm just going to hit save for now. Okay, let's make Magnus a little bit smaller. Here's the thing. So if I want to make this a template, I need to figure out... I'm not for sure always going to be able to find a photo of someone at this ratio. So what I wanted to do... That's the wrong button. I wanted to do like this and then have them... Oops, let's grab an actual brush. Have them break out of it like this. And maybe their shoulders break out or something. But it like stops here. You know, and they're here, but it stops here. And I might be able to fudge this with where his arm is. So like right here. So we can go in here. Let me hide the text. And make it so he looks like he's coming out of this. Get rid of all this. Eric, I don't know if you saw, but like most of the Sinclair teachers that you probably would have had are retired now. Except for Adam Thompson. Adam's still there. But your favorite teacher ever, Cynthia, just retired. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about, Cynthia was the type teacher, and she was a hard-nosed teacher, really good at what she did. So there. So we got Magnus coming out of this, which I think looks good. I might make him a little bit smaller. No, let's see what that looks like. I'm going to turn this on. We're going to group this together, and we're going to type in text. And then I need to figure out what to do with his name. His name would look really nice down here or something. But here's what we want. Okay, so this is Chess Kings. So I think what I want to do is I want to put behind Magnus, I want to put a king. Something like that, Except black doesn't look good. So what we can do is we can go to Envato. Again, we can go back to our handy dandy area. King chess piece. And look, there's all sorts of variations. Look at all these colors. Look at all these shapes and colors. Let's go with silver. No, silver's going to clash with this. Black doesn't actually look bad. And what I'm probably actually going to do. So in chess, you have white and you have black. So I think I'm going to do a white one and then a black one and have them just sort of play off of each other. Kind of like that. So I'm going to download this. And I've had a little bit of issues with some of these on Envato where it gives me a different angle than I wanted. Which I think is a weird bug. Yes, Cynthia would kick people's ass. And she was a real teacher, and she was a good introduction to college to say, you're paying to be here. act like it. Okay. See, these aren't the exact same, which is bugging me. Let me look here. So this is H01 and this is H03. So what I should be able to do is find that black chess piece again, which I think is here. And then download it. I think this. I think that's the exact same then. It says it would be like H01, H02, H03, and those are the different positions. So this is H01, 2. I want them to be exactly the same, but they're not. They're actually just completely different shapes. Hold on. Do I want this one? Yeah, I want this one. Okay. Good, we solved it. It's just a different chess piece, completely different one. And the good thing is I have unlimited downloads with Envato, just built in or baked into a yearly membership, which is great. And I need to set up some sort of affiliate program so I can say Envato a bunch, and then you guys can go get Envato, and then I get money for you guys to go into Envato. There you go. So now we have two of the exact same things. We can just put them behind Magnus and just sort of have them back here doing something as added depth. Now what I could do is I could go like this and download them at different angles.
I don't know who Jay Cutler is.
Oh, what a great thing to pop up. Thank you for subscribing. I want your name to pop up, but it's really broken. Oh, there you go. You're at the bottom now. Big League Designs. There. See, that's fun. That's why we made these goofy things forever ago. We want the white one now. I'm going to sort of turn this one like that and download. And I don't know if these are good for what I want to do, but I want them to be coming out of whatever this background area is, which, knowing me, is I'm probably going to make it some sort of portal because portals are cool to put in stuff. We're going to drag these back on here. We're going to move them up. And we've honestly done a lot more than I thought we were going to do on today's stream, which is cool. And if you like what I'm doing, I'm trying to stream every day from like 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So hopefully you can catch me doing something here those days and maybe learn something, maybe just watch me try and make something cool. So we can go Chess Kings. Something like this. This adds a little bit more depth, so it's like stuff's coming out at you. I don't like this chess piece because it's a little bit... It's a little dark, or it's a little light, so I'm just going to go to a curves adjustment layer. We're just going to darken her up a bit. Actually, I don't want to do that. I just want more contrast, so I'm going to go to contrast. We're going to bump that up a bunch. So we have these two pieces, so we can now... We're going to turn these into smart objects, which they already are. I'm going to rotate this, make this one a little bit smaller. And honestly, if I really wanted to sell this effect, I'd put it like this. So it's actually behind him. And maybe I need more than just two. So this one's closer, so it's... See, so this one's closer, so it would be larger. So this one would actually need to be smaller. And maybe we move this one up. Oh, you just discovered and started following me on LinkedIn. Awesome. I've been posting a lot on LinkedIn. It's just fun posting there to talk about design stuff. Okay, we're going to save. And I had something. Does this work?
Save as.
Remember to save your files, kids. Okay. So I'm going to go to filter, blur gallery, path blur. And I like using path blurs. I'll put this so you guys can see it. So I want the path blur to be coming out from here to here. Sort of following the shape. So I can hit enter. I don't want it to be centered. I want to taper it. And then there's some effects we can add. We can add a little bit of grain. There's motion effects, so we can have strobes. So it's like strobing out. So if I go like this, I don't taper it at all. I actually want it to be flying. No, we can go like that. Just hit. I hit cancel, didn't I? I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to do it to the back one. Because I want to be able to see them. But I want them to have a blur to it. So blur gallery, path blur. We're going to drag the path out here so it's exploding this way. We don't want it tapered. We want it to be very fast. Effects, no. Noise, we don't really need noise. It doesn't really matter. What do we got here? No, that's fine. Motion effects. So you can have it like strobe. So if I zoom in, you can see it's adding 10 sort of strobe effects to it. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. So we don't need strobe strength. It's just going to go like that. And then we can taper it a little bit and maybe hit OK. Then we can kind of drop it down here like this. And then maybe we duplicate it, put that on top, but set it to like 50% or like 25%. But then we take these and we rotate them a little bit. I want to see how much that breaks. Because really what I want... No, that's fine. Man, you know what I want? I really want that to like follow the path. I want it to be like a rocket. I want it to follow the path exactly. Yeah, man, thanks for stopping by, Eric. I'm going to be here every day, so you'll know where to find me. So we're going to do this instead. It's going to follow it like a rocket. Then we can grab all the smart filters, drag it up here. It's not going to add to it. It is going to add to it. I hate that. Clear smart filters, drag here, and go like that. Okay, cool. So now we can take this. We can just add the same blur gallery to this one. Duplicate it, get rid of the blur gallery on this, and then just fix this one so it's not super broken because it's following the same path. So what we want to do is we want to, it's going to break. Yep. Added a point. I don't want to do that. Oop, oh, whoops. Okay, that's fine. We want this to go right up the gut. Kind of like this. Oh, and all the stats are the same. Good. Just hit enter. We'll lower it down just a little bit. Duplicate it, put it up here. Ooh, put it up here and set it to what? 25%? Okay, so now we've got some shooting pieces. We've got black piece. And we've got white piece. White piece. White piece. And I can move these around independently and then do whatever. And they will do whatever I want, which is good. All right, what do you guys think of this so far? Chess Kings, if we want to mock how that's actually going to look, is going to look like this. But put this on top and set the color. It's going to look more like... Wow, I'm hitting a bunch of buttons here. It's going to look kind of like this. And then this color can be whatever we want. So if we want to make it, I don't know, green, we make it green. And let's say Chess Kings. We'll make it a bright color that's very vibrant. I like the idea of having this black and white in the background and then all this color in the front, because I think it'll look cool. We just need to figure out how the heck do we want Magnus's name on here. But this is where we're at right now, which is pretty cool. I like how this looks. Ooh, what's going on here? What's going on here, Chief? Oh, blur gallery turned off. Hey guy, we need this on. Save. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. So I'm saving this card out. I'm going to quit out of these. And we're going to pull up something because I'm going to put it into a framework now that we can use moving forward. So straight on vert. That's the thing, right? Open. Okay, so this is a Photoshop document that I use for all of my cards to mock up how they look. So I'm going to take that card we've designed so far, which I need to find because it's on my design server. Magnus card. We're going to drop it in here. And it's a big file. How big is this file? It's only 8 gigs so far. It's not that giant. I'm going to make this large enough to fit like that. Gets rid of the bleed. I can save this, go back here, and now it's in this setup, which is cool. I'm going to just add a pattern. I could have done an overlay. It doesn't matter. We're going to add a pattern of chess. We're going to make this 500 at 30 degrees or negative 15. Like that. Set that to multiply in 5. And then for giggles, let's just make everything a little bit larger. Like that. Okay. So this is what our card looks like right now. So I'm going to save this because I like working from this directly because then it automatically updates as a smart object. So this is called Vert straight on. This is part of a template pack I have on my website available for purchase. I'm going to do Magnus card mockup. And then I'll just save that to my desktop. So now I can work off of this file only. And then any changes I make to the smart object here updates automatically here. And then I have it in this nice little template already. We don't need this pattern anymore. And one last thing I'm going to do, and then we're going to, I mean, you got a lot of people, got you, the 10 of you in here watching. We're going to do one quick thing, and then we're going to call it a day today because I want to just do this for an hour, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll do some more edits to this. I'm going to add where is this? Assets. I'm going to add a spot varnish to it. I have a piece of paper that I found years ago. That's a glossy black piece of paper that if you add to it and set to screen, it looks really cool. So I'm going to go like this. It looks like that. All I have to do is go screen, drag this up. Oops. I think I usually add a little bit of contrast to it because it can fog up a couple areas. So I'm going to go to adjustments, levels, go like this, drag this over a little bit, just turn this to a smart object and then set it to screen again. But we can go like this. And then it kind of looks like our card has some gloss to it. So if we hit save here and go back to our case, our little pack here, it looks like that. I'm going to change this background color. I just want it to be a little bit darker. Just the card shows up better. Maybe I hide this sometimes. So this is what our Chess Kings card looks like today. This looks really good for an hour in. That just means tomorrow when we continue with this, we're going to be able to add a ton of effects to it. And then we can figure out where we want holographic stuff to shine through. I think the background, that black, we might make holographic. We need to figure out a container for his name and then other stuff to put in the background. But for now, I'm going to save this and I'm going to call it here. I appreciate you all for joining me today. Join me again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, where we will continue the exploration of this. We might even find other photos of other chess players so we can easily make this into a template that then we can theoretically print. And then once we get a good design of like how it looks, we'll set it up to be quote unquote print ready. So we have our CMYK layers and our white layers. But if you like this content, you're watching this, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch. I'm going to try and stream every single weekday at 2 p.m. to do card stuff like this just for you guys who want to watch. And if it's the 6 of you, the 10 of you, the more the merrier, or it's just more curated, you can ask me questions and I will definitely see it and answer it. But until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great, lovely